I want my coffee to taste like someone's put hot water in an ashtray and swirled it round. I want it to taste like molten fags.
We called you a bin raider back in the day.
Yeah. I like Francis, but it's got some quite controversial opinions. He didn't want to eat that smashed up nappy out of a bin.
Yeah. Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. Hello and welcome to Francis Foster Sorts Your Life Out, the show where we get comedians and other people, but basically idiots, to sort your life out. Now, bear in mind, we are not a therapist, we are not a psychotherapist, we're not a physiotherapist, we ain't any type of therapist. So if you take our advice on board, you are an idiot, but advice we will give you nevertheless. I've got one of my favourite comedians in the world. It is Justin Panks to join me. Panksy, how are you, mate?
I'm good, Francis. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Long time no speak. How has life been treating you?
It's good. I'm one of those road dogs up and down the A1 a lot, working all over the place. But well, I've seen you. When did I see you? About a year ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what your mate was before we started. We've known each other a long time, bro.
We know each other a long time.
Had you just started when you met me?
Yeah.
We are the same year group then.
We are the same comedian year group. I mean, it was funny. I remember that joke, the movies joke.
Yeah.
Do the movies joke for people.
Oh, well, I used to have this closer and it just didn't work. I shouldn't say that, but I don't do it anymore. And I just say, I say that there's no romance left in my marriage anymore. And I go, we realised that a few years ago when Patrick Swayze died. That's how long ago it was. And I go, anyway, the upshot of the joke is I go, I can't remember it. Oh, she says to me, I want you to make love to me like they do in the movies, because she's watching Patrick Swayze films after he died and she's getting all in the mood. She goes, I want you to make love to me like they do in the movies. So I said, we did that night and we realised as I was fucking up the arse and telling to squeal like a pig, we just like different films.
Boom.
That was the abridged version. I actually couldn't remember that. And
really?
That shows how far you've come, because I would never not have done that joke. I did it for so many years.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah. That was. I remember when I knew it was the end of your set because you went into it.
Yeah.
I'm like, here he goes. And then look, it was a great joke. I can't imagine people be a bit more squeamish now.
It's fun. Well, the thing is, I do like to play with that. So, for example, the Patrick Swayze aspect of it is largely irrelevant, but I used to bring up the premise using that, so people went, "Oh, he's going to do a cancer joke."
Yeah,
and then when it isn't a cancer joke, so you get the sort of like the big reveal. Plus, I think there was an element of relief that it wasn't offensive. So I was always thinking that extra level.
Yeah,
I know it doesn't look like it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I like it when people laugh in spot. I've got a joke at the moment which kills, but it kills and everyone laughs they laugh like this.
Yeah.
And I say, get your hands out. I can see you laughing. You're going to hell.
Yeah.
But I like it when they don't want. I like making people laugh. I don't want them to choose to laugh.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. Probably. I mean, everybody in the comedy industry has been talking about consent, and
Yes.
You're a man who doesn't like people to consent, which is,
The good thing I like about you, Francis, and your online content is you have a balance, and you're pro-consent. I'm anti-consent when it comes to making people laugh.
Oh, okay. All right. We need to put that caveat
in. Don't clip that last bit.
Yeah. I'm you're Justin Panks, the anti-consent comedian. You can say that for your next appearance on GB News.
It's in a few days, so I might do.
Yeah,
I would say GB News is fine. It's just like Loose Women for Nazis. And we just sit around and chat. It's fine.
You just say, you know what, we need to get rid of the boats. We need to stop the boats.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen a boat, but then they go, I live like near Great Yarmouth, and I think they just keep moving. They go, fuck that, we ain't getting off here. Just carry on, bro. This is.
Imagine you flee a war-torn Syria, and then you end up in Great Yarmouth.
Mate, if a small boat came up on Yarmouth Beach and 10 Syrians got out, I think 30 people from Yarmouth would get in and go back the other way.
Yeah.
It'd be like a relay, like the chicken and the fox and the grain puzzle.
Yeah, I can imagine that, actually. I can imagine that. Or maybe, actually, probably not, because people in Yarmouth wouldn't know how to use a boat.
No, they don't have to use anything. I was there the other week. It is. I don't know if anyone knows if it's a bit. It really is deprived there.
Yeah.
And my campaign is make Yarmouth great again. I've got a little red hat and everything.
Have you?
Yeah, that's what I'm running on.
The problem is that it was never great.
No, it was never great. And I think we do need a wall around Yarmouth with no gate or door in it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Do you know, my mum, obviously my mum's South American. I remember when she came to this country, she got taken to she went to Western Supermare and she thought it was going to be the most amazing place because it had super in the title.
Mate, I've had a similar thing. I did a gig the other month in High Wycombe.
Yeah.
And I just thought that sounded posh.
Yeah.
It's double barrel. I thought High Wycombe. And it was awful.
Yeah.
It's like a concrete. Have you been there? It's I thought it'd be like Midsummer Murders, sort of like picturesque. And I was like, oh my God, this is a mistake. But I stayed in the Travelodge in the centre and it was rough, man.
I mean, that's the thing with doing comedy is that you go to so many shitholes up and down this country.
You do.
And, you know, you see the British Isles for what they are, miserable and desperate. And on that note, talking about miserable and desperate, we have got our audience. They have submitted questions for you, Francis or Justin, for you to solve. So here's the first one. Dear Francis, my boss has started using AI to predict our productivity and it's making the office unbearable. Should I push back or is this just the future now?
Wow. AI is a big subject that actually occupies a lot of my thoughts at the moment. Now, if
Does it?
Yeah, it does. I do because, you know, ever since I watched 2001 with Hal and but the thing about AI, if you think about it, you know, the naysayers do worry about the potential problems of AI. If you think about it, it's always about it becoming too human.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, what if it starts getting like self-aware and starts, you think, well, that's what we do. So we've already got that sort of consciousness. But AI is I can't stand how everyone just thinks it's the answer to everything at the moment, isn't it? Like, everyone's like, I'll just run it through AI. I know a comedy promoter now, and he's got all the comedians' bios on his website. It's generated through AI. I'm like, why?
Really?
Yeah, it seems a bit odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
That's sort of for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But in terms of AI being used to predict productivity, I mean, that's the tail wagging the dog. I thought technology was to make humans' lives easier and convenient.
Yeah, that's how it was sold to us. First it was, oh, it'll make your life easier and convenient. Then it just like got rid of a whole strata of jobs.
Yes, there's
with
that.
automation. And it's like,
And now it sounds like the strata of jobs that it cannot replace, it is now cracking the whip and saying, why aren't you working as hard as a machine?
Yeah.
It's because I'm not a machine. But when I was young and what I used to watch.
Depends, it could be. Are you a machine in the bedroom?
I am a machine in the bedroom. I'm like that last trolley at Lidl's that you can't get the pound in or out. But no,
and then ends up in the canal.
Yes, that's right. Inevitably, we all end up in the canal, guys. But no, it is that thing of like, there used to be a show called Tomorrow's World, and in it there'd be a sketch and a bloke would be sat in his armchair and he'd have a pill and that'd be his meals for the week. And there'd be a robot hoovering.
Yeah.
And then, you know, in the year 2000, I was stood at my kitchen sink washing up a yogurt pot before I put it in the recycling bin thinking, what the fuck? This isn't what I got. This is more work.
Yeah.
Got to wash up my rubbish now.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't recycle. Do you recycle?
Yeah, but it's all bollocks, isn't it?
It's all bollocks. You know, none of it goes to recycling. No, it doesn't.
No, it's just a way of middle-class people having a wank and feeling good about themselves.
Yeah, because I live in Norwich, and I don't know if you have we have this food waste bin thing. And I'm like, I am not. It's like a little bin you put your food waste.
Yeah.
Mate, that's just a rat attractor. I'm not doing that.
You know, I like Norwich. It is a little bit pleased with itself.
Do you know what? You're right. It's getting that way.
Yeah, it's a little bit of people like, this is great, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's because we think it's a well-kept secret. Like, you actually come to Norwich. But you go around Brighton. I was in Brighton gigging the other week, and I was like, Norwich is better than this. And as soon as I thought, I was like, oh, you're turning into a twat.
Yeah.
Like, you can't think that way.
Yeah. I mean, it is like that. Everybody's walking around going, this is Norwich. And I'm like, all right, it's all right.
The trouble with Norwich, and especially the bit I live in, is I live in the artistic bit, which is all like rescue dogs and leg tattoos. You know? Like everybody works in insurance but dresses like an art student. You know those people. It's like they're sort of like got their bright yellow beanie hats rolled up and their karate trousers on, and they're like, but they just work in an office. But it is a bit like that. But getting back to the point, so this person's feeling overworked because of the unreasonable workload that AI is.
Yeah. So essentially what it's doing is being used to predict productivity.
That, can I say, is probably the boss by proxy, just going, oh, I'm not being an arsehole. My computer told you to do all this work. It's like that. He's using the technology to deliver the bad news. He's playing good cop, bad cop with his spectrum, isn't he? It's like, I think you should get a new job. Don't get a job. Jobs suck, man. I don't like jobs.
I mean, it's coming to the point now where everything's just got so dementedly expensive. You go, what is the actual point of a job?
Well, yeah, I mean, in the pandemic, in the lockdown, I got a job. Actually, I've just realised I've got something that relates to this. I got a job delivering for Amazon.
Yeah.
And the people that will go, when they go down the shop, they I must buy fair trade this and fair trade that and ethical this. Anyone that Amazon, that is actually inhumane conditions to drive.
Really?
Oh my God. When I was at the induction, the bloke was like, right, we're not allowed. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but they go, we're not allowed to tell you can't stop for a break. We're not allowed to say that. But you can't stop for a break. I remember like the first day, I was like, you in the back of a Mercedes Vito van shitting into a carrier bag. Straight up, because I was in lockdown, all the toilets were shut. And you're not allowed to stop anyway. It's the Steelers.
I mean...
I was only doing that for extra money. That was my only fans.
Shitting into a bag.
That was my only fans. That's my niche. That was nothing to do with convenience, man. That was just supplementary income.
You just did it for the art.
No, but the thing was, so you got this, it's called Amazon Flex, right? And they're like, right, you're not allowed to log on because you don't start your working day until you're logged on. And you're all parked up outside this huge depot. And they go, right, go in. And then you have to log on as you walk in. And then like, you were just part, I felt like the organic part of a computer system.
Really?
I was the smallest, most insignificant cog of a computer system. Seriously, that is what it feels like.
Yeah.
I was just driving the van, but I was following that, your sat nav, and when you scan it, and it's all automated, but I was just the sort of like dregs of the machine. Do you know what I mean? I was the weakest link.
And was it well paid?
No, it's awful money. And it's so long days, like 16-hour days, mate.
For how much for a 16-hour day?
Well, okay, anyone who's done this multi-drop will know they go, up to 180 quid a day, but it's 120 a day. But then I had to pay...
For 16 hours?
And you have to pay to hire your van and all your... Mate, it was insane.
You have to pay to hire your van?
Well, yeah, you get... I think it was 200 quid a week for all your... Honestly, it was awful. I was either asleep or in my van. Honestly, sometimes I was asleep in my van. But no, and then I just did it, and then it was like, yeah, £200 a week for the van, and to get that 180 a day, you've got to hit these targets, and they're impossible. Because like the thing, what people do, if you don't know this about Amazon, if you just say, oh, I didn't get it, or you complain, Amazon go to the shop, oh, you need to send them another HDMI cable, and that's the shop's expense.
Yeah.
And anything like that's called an interaction or whatever they call it, that counts as a black mark against the driver. Now, if you get one of those, you can't hit your bonus. And if you're a whole wave of like 200, like Eastern European animals, no one cares, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you start off, you're like putting it on the thing, then but towards the end of it, like that Atari Paperboy game, I'm just lobbing stuff. Do you know what I mean?
You're just hitting people, knocking people off their bikes.
I would like to hear from someone, comment, if anyone has ever known of anyone hitting their bonus. It is impossible to hit.
Yeah.
But the job is advertised as up to 180 a day, but...
What you've done? Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
So, having had that experience, I take it he's not shitting in a bag just yet.
Don't knock it till you try it. But you've got to make sure you haven't got one of those safety bags with the holes in.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Did you not think at that point, what has my life become?
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. You do, but I'm just there in my high... I'll tell you.
Because wasn't that around the time you were getting a divorce?
Yeah, that was the exact same time.
Oh, fuck.
No, it's good times, man. Go from being a stand-up comedian to like going through a divorce and driving for Amazon.
Yeah.
Getting like shouted at by like some 11-year-old in a high-vis vest.
Why were they not white? Because they were autistic.
I don't know. Honestly, it was a terrible, terrible job. But I thought, because like we're like, you can moan about whatever you do. We all do, don't we?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm never moaning if a comedy ever comes back. If the club's ever open, because this was the proper lockdown.
Yeah.
I'll never moan again. And that lasted for about a week.
And then you're back to
10 days, and I was like, well, I've got to go to Leeds. Oh, Christ.
Yeah. Tell you what, did Leeds on last week. What a great gig.
Yeah, Leeds is a good city, actually. I don't know what I did. I just meant that in proximity, not the city. But in terms of this guy or girl, I think you should call your boss out and say, just because if a computer comes up with an unrealistic expectation and you're passing that on, that's not your part. You are, do you know what I mean? You, by deferring that and carrying it on, you are being out of order. Don't think, it's not my fault. Like a computer says no sort of thing, innit?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't blame the computer.
Yeah.
You've put this system through the computer, or you've got to run the numbers through the computer. The computer's come up with this unrealistic equation and you're upholding it. You're not blameless.
There you go. I think that's fair enough. Thank you very much. Next one, please, Jackie. Okay. Dear Francis, my mate started identifying as an anti-natalist and lectures everyone about not having kids. It's making group conversations unbearable. How do I handle them?
Well, everything in life's a spectrum, right? And if at one side of the spectrum, you've got anti-natalist, which is unbearable.
Yeah.
At the other end, you've got the super, completely all-consumed new parent who's also as unbearable. As with most things in life, if you want to have kids, have them. If you don't just shut up. I mean, it's as simple as that, isn't it?
Well, I mean, when you had kids, what was it like?
Gory? Do you mean the actual birth?
No, I mean just the experience of bringing them up.
The biggest learning, the biggest thing I ever learned in my life is when you're young and you're like a kid, and then your dad's your dad or whoever your parent.
Yeah.
You go, they're authoritative, and you go, and you think you're going to change, but I'm still just a dickhead. Like I had this kid and thought, all of a sudden I'll be sensible and I'll be like, I'll be sort of like, just like this role model. I'll sort of like grow up in stature. I'm just a twat.
Yeah.
So that is such an empowering thing to learn. I am going to be a teenage. I think men grow up until they get to about 14 and then we just get older. I think I tapped out developmentally at 14.
Do you reckon you tapped out?
When I look back in my life, I think 14 was when it was it.
Because you had kids young, didn't you?
For someone who lives in London, I did. But where I live in the sticks, I had them late. I was an old parent.
What were you, like 19?
I was 30.
You were 30?
Yeah.
So how old are you boys now? They're what? Like
18 and 15. And I've got an 8-year-old stepson.
You've got 18 and 15. So you're one of them's like a bloke now.
Well, yes, they'll be watching this. But when I was 18, I was already 4 years into a sort of like alcoholism. But they just don't care. This generation, is it Z? What I don't know.
Yeah, Generation Alpha.
They just unless I'm lucky, they just could not give a fuck about hedonism. They're not into it.
Well, what does he enjoy doing? Does he just enjoy going to the gym and watching Andrew Tate?
They don't like Andrew Tate, but I've tried to persuade them. I haven't. But no, that is a sort of thing because when Andrew Tate rose to prominence, and I actually went out of my way. This is parenting. I went out of my way to go, have you heard of this guy, Andrew Tate? And just sound him out. And they, to their credit, and I guess by proxy to my credit, they got what he was doing. They're like, oh, he's just a troll. This is a character. He's an idiot. Like,
yeah. So they're cucks.
Yeah, that's again the spectrum, isn't it? But look, I think having kids it didn't change my life the way it maybe is supposed to, or I thought it would. I mean, it's the best thing I've ever had. And the good thing is I've got 3 boys and I really enjoy their company. So I've got 3. The good thing is you think that you can grow your own best mate because you can shape them.
Yeah. And
you can sort of like mold them, but like in a narcissistic, manipulative way. It's actually you're allowed to.
Yeah.
So it's like you can sort of grow them and sort of like develop them and go, I want to steer them this way and that way. But if someone's anti-natal, I do worry about the underpopulation. Everything seems to be. I know there's certain things we can't say on here because I've said it on my channel and got warned about it. But everything that seems to be about having.
Have you blamed the Jews for it?
No, I haven't. I couldn't do. My ex-wife is Jewish, and therefore my children technically are.
Oh, your children.
It goes. Well, this is the thing. I had a discussion because I'm just a heathen. I don't believe in anything.
Yeah.
And they were like, her family, like, oh, you know they're Jewish. And I'm like, who are? They're like, your kids, because it goes on the mother's side. I said, does it? Since when? They go, oh, in the Jewish faith, it goes on the mother's side. I said, well, in my faith, it goes on the dad's side. So it's, immovable object, unstoppable force. How does that work?
Well, I think some people who are, shall we say, pro-Palestine might disagree with you.
About what?
About, well, it going on the dad's side. They'd be like, no, they support Israel.
Well, I don't know who they support. I don't know who they support. I don't talk to them about stuff like that. Not even with them.
Really?
Yeah, no, I can't be bothered with all that. I don't understand a lot of it. That's the trouble. As I look at it and go, how, like, there's just... The thing is, Trump got called out when he was someone tried to dig him out in a pre-election interview. He went, I just want people to stop dying.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, that's not good enough. I was like, isn't that the perfect answer?
Yeah.
Isn't that the perfect answer? I want people to stop dying. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
And then we'll start shifting through the rest of it.
Yeah.
I mean, but he can't even say that. Even when he says something right is wrong. Or not right, correct, I should say. When he says something correct is wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Look, I take your point. So you've got Jewish lads and well, what's that like?
That's all right. They spend money freely.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're good
They're
with
doing how's it one's doing what, accountancy?
That one wants to be a lawyer. No.
Yeah.
They're just doing their own thing. My youngest one's more entrepreneurial. He's a bit like me. Both of them are a bit like that. I mean, the only thing about the thing about Andrew Tate, to bring him back up, he uses the Matrix word, but that's not a bad message, in my opinion. And I don't know what that means to you, but to just go, oh, the spoon-fed ladder that is just presented to you, like school, university, whatever, but to just maybe pick your own path through life. I do encourage that with everyone.
Yeah.
So I think when he's talking about the Matrix, I don't know what that can mean a myriad of things, can't it? But to just live outside the sort of like tram lines, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So you're investing in crypto, I take it?
My eldest makes money trading crypto,
Does he really?
Yeah, he does, yeah. He did one the other day called Mustard. Have you heard of Mustard?
No.
Yeah, he made, well, I don't want to say.
He made decent money in Mustard.
Well, if he made that every day, it'd be a living, yeah. But I think, He said this is the thing, right? We think we know so much, don't we?
Yeah.
Do you know, this is a little point. This is the first generation where wisdom and elderly people are not respected at all.
Yeah.
Like my dad would show me how to fish or how to change a tyre.
Yeah.
My kids, they've got no respect for it because if you think about it, they don't value knowledge because they stream knowledge.
Yeah.
Because they've got a phone in their hand at all times. Google anything.
Yeah.
So you have to go to pub quiz. I would go, oh, Francis is clever. He knows a lot of stuff. Young generation don't care. Like, why would you remember anything? It's all on my phone. Right? I
mean, that is both a good point and terrifying at the same time.
No, I'm very quite nihilistic about technology, but so
it's not that way with phone numbers. Do you remember your old mate's phone numbers?
I can remember. I know my parent. I don't know my phone. I know my parents' phone number.
Exactly.
The house I grew up, but I could rattle it off like that.
Yeah.
But So the thing with the kids and that. So he goes to me, he goes, oh yeah, it was in a song, and I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, someone was singing about this cryptocurrency in a song. So I looked it up and I bought it and sold it. I was thinking, I don't know anything about the world he lives in. No wonder he disregards all my advice.
Yeah, NFTs, what the fuck are they?
Yeah, I've sort of looked into that and even I knew that was bollocks. But then, because I did an art degree, and then you see this banana strapped to the wall.
Yeah.
And you go, well, what's that if it's not a physical NFT?
Yeah.
That's all it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's just like money laundering, isn't it? All of this money laundering.
Look, I'm in agreement with you. This crypto thing, I don't get it. I don't and I'm going to be honest, it makes me angry. Because it's just, like, have you seen that Hawk Tuah?
Hawk Tuah coin?
Yeah, Hawk Tuah coin.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
Yeah. And then on the one hand, you go, people have lost money, and I go, well, that's awful. And then I'm going, but you've invested in a girl who's 22, whose entire claim to fame is going, Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. And you just go, well, I mean...
You actually sexed that up, but that sounded nice when you said it. You sort of added a bit of, like, soul to it.
Yeah.
She said that she's a bit of a redneck. But I think what Andy...
I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I did as well. But the thing what Andy Warhol got wrong is the 15 minutes of fame thing. Yeah, he was right, but obviously you can't... It's diminishing.
Yeah.
She ain't got 15. You go, oh, she's got 9 minutes of fame.
Mate, she's number 5 in the podcast charts.
She's brilliant. I'd love to go on her show. No, but it's true, isn't it? I mean, and what you can get famous for, and there's these flash in her pants. But then what about Bad Baby? What about her? Do you remember her?
No.
See me outside. How about that? Catch me. You don't know that?
No.
Do you not know who that is?
No.
There was this young girl on Dr. Phil, and for those who don't know, I'm sure you do know. It's like the Jeremy Kyle in America, right? And she was like, her mum was like, oh, my daughter's like unruly and I can't control her. And she's talking, I think she's from Florida. You can't understand what she's saying. She's a white girl. Yeah. You can't understand what she's saying.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, blah, blah. And everyone's laughing. Everyone's laughing at me. And then she said something like, oh, yeah, how about you catch me outside? How about that?
Yeah.
And Dr. Phil's going, what did she say?
Yeah.
And her mum's going, oh, she's saying meet her outside, basically. And she went viral.
Yeah.
Then she, I think she did OnlyFans. She's like multi-millionaire
Yeah.
from saying something moronic. I mean, like, literally, like it was just a, you know that Wilston Raiders bloke?
Yeah.
Like, she's like that, but minted.
Incredible.
It's great. What a time to be alive. But if I think of all the stupid things I said,
Yeah.
I should have monetized them.
But you know what? I'm also very grateful that I'm the age I am and that I'm not a 21-year-old kid blasted off my head walking down the road and then all of a sudden somebody asks me for an interview.
And why are they always interviewing with headphones? Like they hold a little, like an AirPod.
Yeah.
It's like, get a microphone at least.
Yeah, and then these kids who are just out of their heads just say something ridiculous, and it just goes around the internet.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't matter what Hawk Tuah does from now. I mean, she will be a grandmother and will be known as Hawk Tuah.
And you know what? Yes, that's a very good, serious point, actually, Francis, because she happened to have the character to take that in her stride and maximise it and run with it. That could have led to like a suicide or something. If someone had that sort of level of infamy thrust upon them for an offhand comment they didn't stand by, and they might have a little bit of a sort of, like a sort of like psychological defect, that's quite dangerous, isn't it?
It was also like, just imagine, you wanting to be a doctor or a lawyer and you're in law school and you're blasted. Someone puts a microphone and you say something like that.
Yeah. Well, I had a guest on my podcast, right? And he went to Cambridge. Oh, not Oxford, sorry. And I said to him, eyes wide shut, was there anything like that? And he was like, yeah. He told me about these parties and it was like £200 to go. And it was like old 80s things where you met up at a garage, like an 80s rave.
Yeah.
And you went to this house in the hills and all the next generation of politicians and they're all fucking each other in masks. And I said, that's all being filmed, right? Anyway, finished it. And he goes, I might one day want a job in the civil service. Can you not put that out? So I haven't put it out, but I'll send you the link because I've got it. It's really interesting.
Really?
Yeah, man, it's really interesting. I sort of said it as a joke. Was it eyes wide shut? And he was like, oh, yeah. And it was called something like the Sebastian Hofson.
That's why you should have worked harder at school.
Yeah.
Because you could have been shagging Boris Johnson whilst wearing a mask.
But it's like this is the Epstein Island. This is what they do.
Yeah.
They get you in a compromising position. Yeah. This is epiphany. I've said this before. I didn't realise. When you're young and you hear about, to be initiated into the gang, you got to do a murder.
Yeah.
And you think, well, that's to prove.
Yeah.
It's not. It's so they've got it over you, mate. It's so they go, I know on the 18th of December, Francis Foster killed this person and we buried him there. Now you can't leave the gang.
Yeah.
That's not to prove you can kill. It's to sort of like, and that's what these Epstein Island, because it was Weinstein went to his townhouse and he said there was a conspicuous camera. Yeah. So oh man, I'm going to get me started down those rabbit holes. But they want to get it on you, innit?
They do.
And that happens at Oxford, probably Cambridge as well.
Exactly.
It didn't happen at Nottingham Trent.
So what's he meant to do? So anti-natalist, his mate, what's he going to have to?
I think when you are in a friendship group, there are going to be people that you find absolutely fucking unbearable and you just got to ignore them. And just, look, if you don't want to have kids, don't have kids. What's the next phase? You're going to go around murdering children? Do you know what I mean? I'm going to start like going into like a negative deficit. I don't know. I'll just say like, get over yourself. When I met my first wife, she was like, I would never have kids. It's the most selfish thing to do in the world. I'd always adopt. Then she hit 30 and a biological alarm clock went off. So I'd take it with a pinch of salt. He might mean it today, but he won't mean it tomorrow. But make sure you're around to say, I told you so.
There you go. Next one. Dear Francis, my cousins decided to become a freegan and raid supermarket bins for food. They keep offering me leftovers and I don't know how to refuse without offending them. What do I do?
Offend them. I mean, this is leftovers from a freegan.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, but that's leftovers of leftovers, isn't it?
No, it's supermarket bins.
Yeah, but if the person's getting supermarket, if I'm the hunter gatherer and I found this Ginster's pasty in the bin and I eat half of it, I go, do you want the other half? Is actually another layer? Is it leftovers from the vegan? It's like one thing you are being royally mugged off. It's like saying, "Oh, you're worse off than me." I mean, who is this person?
Look, here's the thing, right? The person who calls themselves a freegan, right? Number one, why does everyone come up with a nice little term now? It's just like, oh, you know, we're in a throuple. It's like, no, someone just bangs your wife.
Yes, yeah, you're right. They think if they can create a cute sounding portmanteau, it's like a movement.
Yeah.
It's not a movement. You're eating out of bins.
Yeah. We called you a bin raider back in the day.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And the horrible stigma that was attached to people. Do you remember, like, bin raider? Like, there was even
bin dipper's a phrase I use up north, isn't it?
Yeah. No, ours was bin raider.
Yeah, bin raider.
Yeah, he's a bin raider. And instead...
That sounds a bit swashbuckling, though, doesn't it? I mean, like Lara Croft, like...
Bin raider.
Bin dipper's better, like a lucky dip, isn't it?
Yeah. But then she got, I'm a freegan. It's like, no.
Oh, we could get it. The whole thing about certain factions of the society think that they get to control the language. Like, they will tell me what I am. Like, I will be given the moniker of a gammon.
I mean, you are.
I might be.
Yeah.
But I didn't pick that for myself. Yet
No.
they keep telling me how I've got to address everyone else.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you the one in society with your little Dymo labeling machine and you get to call yourself a freegan, but I can't call you a dirty
Tramp.
Yeah, tramp. But you know, I guess they would say, oh, the supermarkets are so wasteful. But it's like,
I mean, they are.
well, yeah, but that'll get me one of my conspiracies. But obviously, if they gave away their close to out of date food, I used to be a roofer, and I did a roof. We was doing the roof on this massive turkey factory because I grew up in Norfolk as a stereotype. And I said to the bloke, "What do you do then with all these turkeys? What do you do?" I go, "Do you go around and give them to the old people and that in the village?" And he was like, "No, I'm not allowed to do that. That Tesco's would stop using us." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "If I give these to the women, they're not going to go buy one." It's just you're just a customer. The thing we think of food is don't waste food. It's all bollocks. We live in a consumerist capitalist society, and you have to take all of that comes with that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but don't think, oh, you know, you're stealing food.
Yeah.
And it's out of a bin. If you want to eat out of a bin, fucking go for it. But I wouldn't.
You know, freegan as well. I bet this person's posh.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the other thing, what I do. What I've noticed, this is a new thing. When did people start fly tipping outside their own house? Like, they'll put like a fucked up bit of mouldy plasterboard and write free on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, who's going to take that?
There'll be some tramp. There's this person here.
Yeah, but there is that sort of, do you ever get that thing where someone will put like a fucking rabbit hutch in their front garden with books in and call it the local free library?
No, mate, I don't live in Norwich.
Mate, we get these pop up everywhere. And it's like, come and take a book. And I'm like, fuck off with your books. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so virtuous, isn't it?
I mean, that is Norwich.
It is, yeah. It's very socialist.
Look, I liked it. It was verging on the cunty.
No, it definitely is cunty. Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's why I've gone there. I fit in.
It's cuspy.
It is. And do you know what? Because like, the local pubs around me, I think a few of them have seen me like on GB News, and they don't like me.
Don't they?
No. I go and they're like, "Hey, I'm the cool comedian guy. I'm one of you artists." And they're like, "Fuck, here he comes."
You just do you not think it might be because of the entrance as opposed to...
What, because I'm walking like that?
Yeah.
No, that's how you got to back yourself, Francis. That's always your problem. You got to sell yourself.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So how do I refuse without offending them? I'll be honest with you. I'll just tell mate, I'm not eating anything out of a fucking bin.
I think the problem is, do you know what, if I was going to read into this more, I think what you're actually scared of is you're scared of offending them by saying, I wouldn't eat that, therefore, why are you eating it? I think that this is a kind of extra layer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to dig you out for eating stuff out of a bin by not eating out of a bin.
They should dig them out. They dig them out. He digs out of a bin.
If you're so hard up, you're eating out of a bin, why are you giving your food away? Why don't you stick it in the freezer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say that's the way to do it. Say, look, man, I'm happy to pay for a pasty now and then or a steak bake, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, a vegan alternative. They're definitely... Because that's the thing. Freegan is a pun on vegan.
Yeah.
But that could be meat, right? There's not actually vegan.
No, it's just freegan. What it's
that
trying
gives
to
it a
do...
worthiness, doesn't it?
It's trying to market it as a political movement.
Yeah. Because I met a vegan in the 90s when literally I didn't know what it was. I had to ask her all these questions.
Yeah.
And she was... she would only eat fruit what fell off a tree. Have you heard of these?
Oh, fruit, yeah.
Won't even pick fruitarian.
Fruitarian.
But they won't even pick it.
Yeah,
It's got to fell off.
Yeah, it's got to fall off.
I mean, how fucking... Do you know what I mean? What are you doing walking around...
It's like...
Where are you seeing a fucking apple fall off a tree anyway?
It's like pescatarian.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, I'm a
Irish people.
But you're like, I'm pescatarian. You just don't eat meat.
Yeah, no, everyone's got to have a label,
Yeah.
isn't it? But again, it's not just a label. Like Freegan, like I say, it's a self-congratulatory label, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would say, A, don't worry about offending them, and B, just say, look, you obviously need it more than me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to eat out of a bin.
Yeah. If someone just has a wank because I eat in a bin.
What world we live in where you can't say you don't want to eat out of a bin?
Because you're going to offend the people who live out of bins. I don't want to offend the bin raiding community.
I like Francis, but it's got some quite controversial opinions.
Yeah.
He didn't want to eat that smashed up nappy out of a bin.
Yeah. Yeah, you could tell he's right wing.
Yeah. It's all right for him.
Yeah. All right, next one, please, Jackie. Francis, what would you do? My best mate's dad runs a dodgy car repair shop and has overcharged me for work that wasn't even needed. Do I call him out or let it go?
Best mate. That says best mate.
That's hard.
Got to let it go if it's your best mate. You got to let it go and get it back in another way. Rip them off somehow. That's what I'd do to my best mate. No, that is difficult.
It depends on the amount. If it's a couple of hundred, you'd be like, okay. I mean, if it's $3,000,
there's no more. There's more crooks in the car trade than anything else, I think.
Yeah.
As well. And okay. When you say you've been ripped off, this could be that you didn't get the level of mates rates you were hoping for.
Yeah.
Things are very expensive now. I went to get a radiator moved in my house, and when the plumber told me the quote, I thought, you're right, but it's just what everything costs now.
How much was the money? How much was it?
I think it was like 450 quid to move, not a new radiator, move a radiator from one wall to the next. It's like half a day.
Mate, everything is like that now.
Well,
like literally everything.
That's what I'm saying. So this person might be like, oh, I'll take that down there. That'll be 80 quid. And then it's come back with like 460, and that's just what it costs.
Do you know, I gave up smoking when I was 26, right? So I haven't had a cigarette in 5 years. No. In 16 years, right? Now, a friend of mine was I can't remember what the circumstances were, and he was skint, and he was just like, mate, can I just skin, blah, blah, and asked me to buy him a packet of fags. So I went to buy a packet of fags.
I know.
Mate, it was about 13 quid.
It's like 17, 18 quid now.
Is it 17, 18?
No, I don't smoke either, but like, everything. I used to be in the building trade, right? I went to stick a new ceiling up my kitchen. I was like, well, I need this many meters of like just stud work, timber, some plasterboard, I thought that'd be, 60, 70, 80 quid. Priced up was like 190. Did you mean go buy the materials? It's like living in this country now at my age is like when you go abroad, you're like, I can't believe, like, you go to Scandinavia.
Yeah.
And it's like 14 quid for a beer.
Yeah.
I feel like that in my own country now.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be.
Yeah.
How do people manage?
Well, this is what I feel. I genuinely don't get it blows my mind that how do people even afford to live in this country? It's demented.
I mean, there's not. I mean, the plus column's diminishing about the good things about it going down and the ship. But then again, I think that's just the globalists, and I think that's yeah. But in terms, I think you need to shop around and first ascertain if you have indeed been overcharged. You might just be shocked. I feel like if you're expecting your best mate's dad to do you a solid, you might be asking a bit much.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
I would make sure you have, and then I would mention it to your mate. I wouldn't well, I don't know why I said that. I would never mention that to my mate.
Yeah.
I'm so, brilliant. Thanks, mate. And pay it and then just like seed for years.
Do you know what? Genuinely, I have this. Like, I don't think you should ever get involved in any type of business with mates. I think.
Do you not like Constantine? You should always do a podcast with a complete cunt. Is that why you rang me? No, it's true. I've seen it. It's happened recently, actually. I've seen it happen recently.
But it's the easiest way to destroy a friendship.
It is.
Either that or talk about politics or trans.
Well, mate, the thing with me is, right, and we're sort of like, I'm a people pleaser. Whoever I'm talking, so if I'm talking to someone, right, and they say something awful, right, and I think, right, I really should say, like, I'll use you an example. So I really should say, Francis, that was racist.
Yeah.
But I don't. I go, are you wearing a wire? And then I just join in because that's my character. Yeah. And I think that's a nice thing to do. Yeah. You dip your toe in, a bit of tourism, change as good as the rest. Yeah. And then I walk off and I'll never say that again. Yeah. But, that's what I do. Yeah. But so when it comes to talking about politics and that, if you overheard me talking to like the most woke left-wing person, you'd think I was one of them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just malleable, mate. I don't exist.
No, I can't. I end up just upsetting and offending them.
I've done that so many times. I just go, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah.
And then you end up saying the thing and then they get upset.
And no, you know what you do is you go, you know what some people might say?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that. That's like when Koreans go, my granddad's so racist. He said in racist thing and gets the laugh for it and also the pat on the back for calling out his granddad.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
You dirty little trick that was. Think we don't see what you're doing, bro.
Yeah. When you clearly think that.
Yeah, you've said it 'cause it's funny and you know it's funny, but you don't want to own it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just put that in the voice of my demented old grandparent.
Yeah, who actually didn't say it.
I would, if this was me, I would just pay it and say, brilliant job. I'll recommend you to all my friends. Never go there again. Or just go put his windows out.
There you go. One more. How many more have we got, Jackie? Last one. I'm losing for dear Francis.
Love the show. You got to start saying that.
Yeah.
Love. But long-term listener, first-time writer.
Yeah. Dear Francis, I'm losing patience. My boss insists on holding team meetings in a Starbucks instead of the office. It's noisy, embarrassing, and expensive. How do I push back?
Yeah, why? What? Like, yeah, this is more. I feel like I need. Do you like Starbucks?
No. If you're gonna do it in a decent coffee shop with decent coffee.
I am a coffee snob.
All right. How good was our coffee today?
It was very good. It was very good for not being a coffee shop. It was very, very good.
Yeah.
If it was a coffee shop, I'd be like, but Starbucks is a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And it tastes like instant.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have a crema on it at Francis. I mean, I've changed, but there's no crema. Where's the crema, bruv?
Yeah.
It's like this flat black dishwater. Also, they're very.
I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna let you know, and the people who watch and listen to this a little secret. I love Joe Rogan. I mean, he's a great guy. I admire him immensely for everything that he's done. The foaming machine on his milk on his coffee is broken, and you can only do espresso on it.
Really?
And I'm going to be honest, Joe. I know you watch this. You've gone down in my estimation, mate.
I think what we should do is set up a GoFundMe for his milk, his milk frother, because his Spotify deal was only like 50 million.
Yeah, because I remember when I was there. Right, it was $250 million actually. Right, so I remember I was there, and I was like, so I made my little coffee, and then we're about to go in, and I pressed like the milk, and this steam just came out and blasted me in the face. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
and I went.
I bet he's a non-milk guy, though, isn't he?
Yeah, and I went, but the milk, Joe, I was like, the coffee, the milk doesn't work. And he went, yeah, it's like that. Laughed and walked out.
Yeah.
I'm like,
if he had like an elk deboner, that would be like tip-top condition.
oh, yeah, he's got about 12 of them.
Yeah, exactly, because he's not a dairy guy.
Yeah.
Which, he's probably like, fuck it.
Yeah.
If you want to come here and drink that lactose.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's the Italian in him. I think he just likes his espresso shots. You know the way they got bam?
I do too. And I was in Greece.
Yeah.
And I asked for butter, and they gobbed at me because they were like, no butter. Just put olive oil on it. I was like, all right, relax.
With what?
Bread.
Oh, that's lovely, though.
Yeah, it is lovely, but that's a bit like that. And it's like they are so anti. He probably can't bear to see milk going in his coffee. That might be the Italian. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's by design.
Yeah,
it's like if you wanna go and try my frothy, you'll end up looking like a singing detective.
Mate,
it's gonna blow all the skin off your face.
Yeah, you kind of blew in my face, and I shat myself a little bit because I'm like, oh fuck, I've just broken Rogan's coffee machine. Oh, this is fucking terrible. So and then in my head, like I went into panic mode, and I was like, broken the machine.
Sorry.
Fucking blah blah blah. And then he just, you know, what he did just laughed and walked off. Were you there that time, Jack? Or was
that's a booby trap. That's not the first time that's happened, is it?
Yeah,
I've got another one. It's got a little chalk line on the wall.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, and also, if you're having... People used to have... When you have a fun business meeting, didn't you go to the fucking pub? When you were in Starbucks...
Do you remember? Those were the days.
Mate, the 90s.
Mate, listen, everything was better in the 90s.
He's right. I don't like doing that, but you could have a liquid lunch and smoke in there, and like no one. If you'd go back to work on a Friday afternoon, I used to work for a taxi cab firm in London. I used to go back half cut on a Friday, and it was like, oh, it's Friday afternoon.
Yeah, that's what you did.
You were allowed to be pissed at work.
Yeah. If you wasn't allowed, it was positively encouraged.
Yeah, the boss would be like, what's the matter with you, you homophobic slur?
Yeah,
so you're gonna, we'd be sitting there eating steak and chips and like having like 4 or 5 Guinnesses.
With peas.
Cigar.
With peas.
Line of Coke.
Go back, fucking, and then you just do your work, Everything would be wrong, but it wouldn't matter because it'd be a Friday afternoon job.
This Starbucks is a poor substitute for that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's like sitting drinking your wishy-washy coffee in a building made out of OSB board. Everything like raw plywood everywhere.
Yeah, and it's also as well, it's like, the muffins that taste like foam.
Yeah. And also...
with sugar.
Is it performative? Does he like being in there in his little waistcoat? I'm imagining the guy talking to his workforce like, yeah, I'm the guy that, this is my... It's like, why you got to take that into the public?
No.
It's just, I hate that. I hate that perform, if anything, now I'm older.
Yeah.
Parents do it a lot, don't they? That they'll be telling their kid, but they want you to see how they're talking to them. Oh, look how advanced I am. I'm telling my son about, to respect people.
Yeah.
I'll fuck off with that bullshit.
Look, I'm in agreement. It's just... I think you should say to him, we should go down to Wetherspoons.
Wetherspoons coffee is in Norwich, it's £1.70 for a bottomless coffee.
Is it good?
No. But it's and also I'll go home with like 85 sachets of HP sauce.
Yeah.
Like literally I chucked them on the table once and counted them. I had 85. That was my record.
That was your record?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think a spoons would go down better.
No, they would go down. You can have a drink if you want a drink, but then also, I don't know, Starbucks is not quite as bad as McDonald's, but there's Just Eat things ruined it. It's all just them blokes in there now, isn't it?
What, is it?
Yeah, you get them in there, do you? No, maybe not in Starbucks. But I know when I go to these sort of chainy ones, you can't get fucking served.
No.
It's all them blokes, mate.
Just popping in and out.
Yeah, they're in and out. It's like with that Amazon depot, fast food joints are now like Amazon depots. They're more about that takeaway than going in there. And you have to wait too long.
Yeah, and also you now get dark kitchens. Have you seen them?
No.
It's like, it's a kitchen.
Hang on, is this okay to say?
No, mate, it's too many of them, and I fucking said it, and I'll say it here.
Stop the boats.
Stop the boats. Stop them.
What's a dark kitchen, Francis? You educated me.
Right, a dark kitchen is a kitchen, so it's a professional kitchen, but it doesn't cater for customers. It only caters for... It doesn't cater for customers to come and sit and eat. It doesn't even cater for customers to come in, order and take away.
It's for Deliveroo, sort of.
It is only for Deliveroo. So you walk past it, and this is the sinister thing about it. It's completely dark. It's just black windows, and then they've got a door open, and then people go in and out.
The rumour I've heard is that 50% of those Deliveroo guys are delivering drugs. They're not even...
Really?
That's what I've heard. They stick one of them things on their back and they just ride around, and perfect cover for it, isn't it?
It is perfect cover.
Yeah, but whether that's true or not. But yeah, I think what are we doing? This I think the pandemic, this sort of disparate pods of people that, you order all your food in, you work remotely from home, you do this, you do that. Maybe I've changed my mind. Go down Starbucks and be around each other's company.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's not sit in your little booth doing it remotely on Zoom. It's better than that, I guess.
It is better.
I've changed my mind. It's healthy to change your mind, guys, in light of new information.
It is. And, so I agree with you. Maybe your boss actually is trying to do the right thing, create a social environment post-pandemic, get people out, get people talking. Maybe you're the miserable cunt, mate, who just wants to be in his...
Maybe you're just like me and moaning because you're a high-functioning alcoholic and you're like, can we just go somewhere that serves booze?
Yeah.
That's my real gripe with that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, and the coffee is crap.
It is the worst, actually. So I think of all the chains, I could say Nero is the best of the chains.
Yeah, Nero's the best. Costa's pretty dreadful.
Costa can be. Costa's inconsistent.
Yeah.
But I find Nero, I've never had an amazing cup of Nero, but I've never had a bad cup of Nero.
Yeah, so Nero's the best. Maybe just transfer it to a Cafe Nero where you actually get a half-decent component.
Don't go to the hipster, that new green tea tasting coffee. Do you know the zesty coffee?
No.
Oh, I don't like that.
Okay.
It's like they always go like, oh, this is a very zesty Brazilian citrus blend. I'm like, I don't want it.
No.
I want my coffee to taste like someone's put hot water in an ashtray and swirled it round. I want it to taste like molten fags.
Nice.
Proper coffee, mate.
Yeah, so melted down homosexuals.
No, that's not what I meant. I see how you twist my words.
And on that note, thank you for watching and listening. Justin, if people want to find you online, if they want to listen to your pod, where is the best place to do that?
I have got my own pod. It's called The Intellectual Abattoir, which is talking bollocks about to anyone. It's between the echo chambers, I describe it, because it's just like I will talk to anyone about anything and agree with them, like I said.
Yeah.
And I've also got an audio podcast with Ash Frith called Pranks and Firth, which we've been doing for like 10 years.
Yeah, you have.
We've got like such a loyal, tiny fan base. Like, they're insane. You're insane.
All right. Perfect. Well, in that case, what's your social media?
Just go intellectual abattoir. That's what I'd go at, yeah.
All right, cool. Guys, thanks for watching and listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all the usual, and I will see you next week. Take care. Send us your problems.